When you eat the chicken like that, you know you're drunk. Fuck.
Now to new developments in the murder of Majesty Montgomery. Rochester police announced today she was killed last month in her home.
She had a nickname her family gave her, Magic, not because she disappeared, but because of how she made people feel when she was around. I need you to hold on to that name, because by the end of this story, it's going to hit you completely different. May 7th, 2026, Rochester, New York, a Thursday. Majesty Moet Montgomery woke up that morning with a full life ahead of her, 29 years old, a home health aide, the kind of person people trusted with their most vulnerable moments. She was raising her niece, Egypt, after losing her sister. She had a dog named King who needed feeding. She had people checking on her daily, plans, routine, routes, and then nothing. No call, no text, no explanation, just silence. Now here's what you need to understand about Majesty. She wasn't the type to go quiet. Women with her kind of life, a child depending on them, clients relying on them, family expecting them, they don't just disappear without a word. That's not how it works. In victimology, that kind of sudden silence isn't a quirk, it's a warning sign, a loud one. Her family felt it instantly. They didn't wait. They called Rochester PD. What detectives found within the first 24 hours was enough to pull this case straight out of missing persons and hand it directly to Major Crimes Homicide. And what they found after that was 50 miles outside of Rochester, in the woods, underground. This whole story rests on one question, and I want you to hold it until we get there. Who knew exactly where to take her? And why were they so sure no one would find out? Keep watching, because before this video ends, I'm going to share something most people never think about. A safety tip that could be the difference between someone finding you in time or not at all. Real quick, if someone you love stopped spotting today, would you actually know what to do? Would you know how fast to move? Most people don't. And that gap costs lives. Subscribe to this channel. Stay close. Because this story, it might matter to you one day more than you think. Welcome to True Crime Footprint, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most terrifying true crime tales. Kindly hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. 32.5 Austin Street doesn't look like a crime scene from the outside. It never does. It's a multi-family house in Rochester's northwest side. Built in 1900, aluminum siding, full basement, multiple units stacked on top of each other, with shared walls thin enough to hear a conversation 2 rooms over. The kind of building where people mind their business because everybody's business is too close for comfort. This is where Majesty was last seen alive, May 7th, sometime during the day. And here's what makes this location matter. A building like this, old construction, multiple tenants, heavy foot traffic. It is a forensic nightmare. Every surface carries someone's DNA. Every stairwell has been touched by a dozen hands. Isolating one person's trace evidence in a place like that, it takes time, it takes precision. But detectives didn't freeze. They moved. Because while the building was complicated, something else was simple. Majesty's routine was predictable. Her daily patterns were consistent. Her people knew her schedule. So when that schedule broke, when she didn't show up, didn't call, didn't text, it wasn't subtle. It was a hard stop. Rochester PD Patrol made initial contact with the family that evening. Within hours, the case transferred out of General Patrol. Major Crimes Homicide was now running point. Here's what that tells you. This wasn't treated like a runaway. It wasn't filed and forgotten. Someone at that department looked at the early indicators and said, "This woman didn't leave on her own." They were right. And somewhere in that digital trail, a cell ping, a plate, a timestamp, something pointed them away from Austin Street entirely, 50 miles south. In a territory most Rochester detectives rarely work. The question stopped being, where is she? It became, who moved her? And how far did they think distance could protect them? I'll be honest with you. Most people who watch videos like this don't subscribe. They watch, they feel something, and they keep scrolling. And maybe that's you. If it is, go ahead and drop a comment below and tell me why you're choosing not to. Tell me why you'd rather miss the next story. I'm genuinely curious. And honestly, so is everyone else reading those comments. The town of Starkey, Yates County, New York. If you've never heard of it, that's exactly why they chose it. 50 miles south of Rochester, tucked along the western shore of Seneca Lake. Dense woodlots, steep ravines, agricultural land that stretches further than most people bother to look. No shot spotter system. No city cameras, no pedestrian traffic, just trees, soil, and the assumption that what gets buried out here stays buried. They were wrong. RPD Major Crimes detectives, coordinating now with the Yates County Sheriff's Office, arrived on a large rural property the evening of May 8th. less than 24 hours after Majesty was reported missing. That speed alone tells you something. They weren't searching blind. They had a direction. A data point strong enough to send a team across county lines with shovels and K9 units, and they found it. A patch of ground that didn't look right. Loose soil where the earth should have been settled. Mixed layers, deep subsoil pushed to the surface. Vegetation that didn't match the surrounding area. To a trained eye, a fresh grave announces itself. You can't bury something several feet underground and leave no trace. The land remembers. Majesty Moet Montgomery was recovered that night, buried deep, deliberately, by someone who believed geography was their alibi. She was 29 years old. The remains were transferred to the Monroe County Medical Examiner, and then silence, official silence, calculated silence, because law enforcement made a decision in that moment that most people never hear about. They weren't going to tell anyone what they'd found. Not the public, not the press. For 26 days, whoever did this would wake up every morning believing Majesty was still just missing. That decision? It may have been the most important move in this entire investigation. But first, I promised you something. A safety tip. And this one is real. If this case is making you think about someone in your life, good. That instinct is worth something. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. This channel exists because these stories matter. And so do the people watching them. Here's the safety tip I promised you. And I need you to actually hear this. If someone in your life has a tight daily routine, a caregiver, a parent, someone raising a child, someone with clients and obligations and people depending on them, and they go completely silent without warning, do not wait 24 hours. Do not assume they're busy. That silence is not normal. Call it in immediately. The first few hours are not just important. They are often the only window that matters. Majesty had all those markers. Her family moved fast. At that speed mattered now. Back to those 26 days. May 8th to June 3rd, 2026. Majesty had already been found. Her family had already buried her. A celebration of life held May 22nd at Goodwill, Missionary Baptist Church on Clifton Street. And the people responsible? They were still out there, breathing, moving, possibly talking. An RPD was watching every single move, cell tower triangulation, GPS data pulled from mobile devices, automated license plate readers along Route 14 and Route 14A, the exact corridors between Rochester and Starkey, social media activity, private communications, every digital footprint that a person leaves when they think nobody is paying attention. The blackout wasn't a failure. It was a trap. Here's something that hits harder when you sit with it. While Majesty's family was grieving, her closest partner, Tashara Willis, was facing her own sentencing. A Class B felony, aggravated vehicular homicide, scheduled for May 28th, 6 days after Majesty's funeral. One family, 2 courtrooms, 2 losses hitting at the exact same time. That's not a statistic. That's the weight some communities carry every single day while the rest of the world keeps moving. The investigation was closing in. But the full picture of what happened at 32 Unhalf Austin Street and who made the decision to drive 50 miles south was still coming together. That safety tip, you almost scrolled past it. Stay subscribed. The next one might be the piece of information that saves someone you love. I'm not being dramatic. That's just how this works.
The body of a Rochester woman reported missing was found in a field in Yates County early last month. For the first time today, RPD investigators made their homicide investigation public. Ryan Hermanit spoke with the lead investigator and Majesty Montgomery's family about her disappearance and death. Ryan joins us now in the studio. Ryan, did the captain say why they released the details today?
Yeah, he did, Teresa. It's been nearly a month since investigators say that homicide took place, and I'm told that they were waiting to release those details to protect the integrity of the investigation. Since her death, I'm told that they've been sorting through many pieces of evidence and an abundance of tips from the community, and now Montgomery's family is hoping for answers.
Majesty was golden.
Investigators say Montgomery's family reached out to them on May 7th after extensive efforts to contact her with no success.
Upon talking to the family and a few of her friends, we initially became concerned because we didn't like the circumstances.
The next day, officers pursued a lead at an undisclosed location in Yates County, where they claimed to have found Montgomery's body buried several feet underground. The Major Crimes Unit began investigating her death as a homicide and believes she was killed at a residence on Austin Street in the city before her body was allegedly moved. Umbrino says there may be more than one suspect involved, adding that detectives have a lot more evidence to sift through.
These investigations, they're complex. facts, and it's always a tightrope walk between the information to release to the public and the information that we just have to hold on to.
Montgomery's cousin Tony says his family has spent the past month grieving. He shared with me over the phone what went through his mind after learning what happened.
I was having mixed emotions and just grieving at the same time and just reminiscing off of old videos we had together, old pictures we had together, and just sitting around the family and just asking, like, why did it happen?
Since then, he's focused on remembering his cousin's fun, bubbly personality.
I tell everybody this, she was very small, maybe about 4'11", but she stood like she was 6 foot, 6'1", but she was the loudest in the room. She was the biggest. All we want is justice for her. We want everything to come to the light. Everything that happened to her the night or the day it happened, we just want justice.
I was walking my dog one day and I saw some candles out there and a couple of roses for the young lady. I was like, wow, what was going on in my own neighborhood?
On June 3rd, 2026 at 6:34 in the evening, Rochester Police Department made it official. Majesty Moet Montgomery, homicide. The pattern in this case isn't new to Western New York. Kill in the city. Transport the body to rural county land. Count on geography to do what an alibi can't. It's the same logic used by Jamie Bush, convicted of murdering her own sister and hiding the body, case that went through Monroe County not long before this one. Different people. Same calculated belief that distance equals safety. It doesn't. Not anymore. Because in 2026, you don't just leave a body somewhere. You leave your phone's location history. Your license plate on a camera you never saw. Your tire tracks on a road with more sensors than you'd expect. Digital forensics doesn't care how remote the county is. The data travels faster than any car. But here's what I keep coming back to. Majesty raised a little girl named Egypt after her sister died. She showed up for people at their worst moments as a home health aide. She loved a dog named King. She had siblings, Maki, Deshaun, Nizera, Maisha, Quantashia, who are still living in a world that lost her on a Thursday in May. Her family called her Magic because of what she gave people when she was present. That was real. And it deserved better than what happened at 32.5 Austin Street. To Myleka, Herbert, and every member of Majesty's family, there are no words that make this easier. May she rest in the peace she deserved in life. If Majesty's story stayed with you, the best thing you can do right now is share this video. Let her name reach someone who needed to hear it today. And subscribe so when the next story drops, you're already here. To everyone who made it to the end, thank you for watching, for your attention, and for joining us on this journey of reflection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.